All right, buddy. What are we doing?
We're camping.
We're camping. So how'd we end up here?
We tried to find
Here, come here. Come a little closer so we can hear you.
a campsite.
How did we determine what was a good campsite?
We were following a map.
We were following a map.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we had a
Yeah.
usage map showing that we are on national forest property, so that we're in an area you're able to camp, and
Yeah.
we drove around and just kind of explored, and this is kind of where we ended up. We found this little camp spot here, just through trial and error, seeing what we could find. We wanted to make sure we didn't have any dead trees. There were some areas where we found some really cool sites, but they just weren't safe to use with being surrounded by dead trees that hadn't fallen. With stuff like that, it's just a matter of time. So we pulled up and come here, show everybody what you did first. What did we do first over here?
We set up the parking blocks.
We set up the parking blocks. Well, they are actually RV leveling blocks. So we found a flat area where we wanted to pitch the tent on the truck and set up some blocks to try to level it out. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for tent sleeping. We're within 1 degree of angle, front to back and side to side, so that is good enough. So we're gonna set up the tent, probably get the awning out here because there's some clouds rolling in. So far the weather's been pretty good, but a little bit of rain on and off, so we want the awning. So that's what's next. All right, should we put the tent up?
And I'll help you with the awning.
Okay, we'll unlock that.
Yeah.
We'll relock it just so that can't flap around if it gets windy. We'll take this one, we'll do the same. Relock that. Okay, now what?
Now we bring the tent up.
Now we push the tent up. There it goes. We'll bring the ladder down. Take the little protective bag off.
Okay.
Level out the ladder. Looks good. What's the mistake we see a lot of people make with the ladder?
Bad choice.
Well, they make bad choices because they put the bottom of the ladder way out far. Here, can you move so you're not in front of the camera? Can you move over a little bit? You could come over here. Yeah, people usually put this thing stuck way out here, so when you're actually climbing, you're side loading the ladder, and that's dangerous because it's not meant for that. That's meant to support the weight of this.
Also, look at those
So-
bad choices. He could not do that. He could not do that. He could not do that.
Open this
He
up.
could not do that. He could not do that. He could not do that. He could do that.
All right. There's camp for the night. We got our awning set up. We got our tent set up. The mattress is starting to self-inflate. Normally we would store the bedding up in there, but because Mom was not coming with on this trip, we had less stuff, so room to spare. So the way we kind of set this up, camp-related stuff, trasharoo. Normally we fill this with with firewood, at least enough to start a fire. I mean, this place, it's no concern at all because there's a ton here from, I don't know, whoever cut it and brought it, but I mean, all that deadfall over there, plenty of wood here, but we always bring some just in case. But yeah, we fill the trasharoo with firewood, and that's our way out. Going back home, we'll just pack it all with garbage after we burn the firewood. So set up in the vehicle, camping chairs over on this side. There's Gavin's, there's mine. Keep a little table. We always try to pack everything up under that cover, but little table with these totes. We kind of plan ahead with the way we do it. So this first one that's on top, let me open that up quick. So this first one is basically everything we need for setup. This goes right up into the tent with us. There's little electrical box in there for controlling everything from inside the tent, the power up there. There's a headlamp that you're going to use at night for going to the bathroom. This is a little, I don't know what you really call it. It's kind of a little cargo net with a plastic front. So you can hang a tablet, because we'll usually watch a movie or something to wind down before going to sleep. The harness for installing that. Yeah, we got some lights, camp suds, soap, some wipes, bags. These are basically shower wipes. Little dustpan for cleaning up in the tent. Hammock with the straps, toilet paper, gloves, tools. There's saws in there, shovel, hatchet, all that good stuff. Paper towels. This one is basically all the fire starting stuff. Cubes, little Swedish fire steel, and a whole bunch of dryer lint. So that's kind of our bag to get all that going. So what else is in there worth talking about? I think that's about it, but that's all the stuff we're using constantly. Tools and cleanup, hand sanitizer, if I didn't mention that already. But yeah, tools, cleanup, all that good stuff. So next boxed in line is always our food. And this box is basically dried goods, unrefrigerated stuff. Got a whole bunch of Gatorades. We got buns for brats. There's bread for peanut butter and jelly. We got bagels. There's apple sauces. Some beef jerky, granola bars, little Belvitas, yogurt raisins. We got graham crackers, and there's some marshmallows in there for s'mores. There's our gas for the fire, the regulator, a couple cereals. We got tortillas, so we can make chicken quesadillas. So that's all dried goods and things that don't have to be refrigerated. And then in the fridge, basically we have chocolate for the s'mores, some condiments, and keep some chapstick in here so it doesn't melt being inside the car. But put some milk in a bottle. We got cheese, we got some bacon, there's some grilled chicken in there, there's sausage, we got Go-Gurts, cheese sticks, eggs, there's pasta salad, or sorry, macaroni salad down in the bottom. We got some brats. We got a whole bunch of bubblies. I drink these well, I'm not a coffee drinker. But I do like iced coffee. So those are kind of my version of iced coffee. Then a bunch of beer buried down in there. And so that's pretty much the food setup for while we're out here. We, it's nice with a fridge. You don't have to put all the drinks in it. I did because we have plenty of room, but you can leave the drinks out and then just, if I'm packing this, I won't put the coffee drinks in there. I'll just throw those in at night before I go to bed. It makes it a little easier. Back behind this, we got a bag with recovery stuff, tow strap, there's tire repair stuff, a compressor, all that sort of thing. Sure. And then we'll get back to let's cook stuff. So this is Adventure Tool Company, made in Colorado. This is their camp kitchen bag. We fill this thing up. We got stuff for cooking, tongs for roasted marshmallows, pot holders for dumping water, cleanup stuff, washcloth. There's we got our silverware, some towels to dry. There's collapsible bowls inside of here, plates, cutting boards, a few different knives, sharp knives for cutting stuff, a scrubber for cleaning out, dishes, things like that. And then this one is the Genesis Base Camp by Jetboil, which this thing is pretty slick. We used to have a Coleman 2-burner stove in here, but it just took up so much space. So we actually used to have one of these totes that just held the stove. This is not part of it, just an extra bucket for cleaning, but you get your pan. It's got a lid, and then you pull this guy out, and this flips open, and that's a 2-burner stove, and then it all nests inside a big, I don't remember what size this is, like a 10-liter or a 10-quart pot or something. It's got their fancy Jetboil ring, whatever, to help things burn faster. But yeah, that's your 2-burner setup with cookware. There's a windscreen if it gets a little crazy out. That's so much more compact. I mean, that's down to the size of a basketball instead of a whole tote to store a stove. Granted, you don't have to put the stove in a tote, but it made sense to do that. Just if it was dirty, greasy, smelly, whatever, just store it up. Good to go. The last big box is personal items. So we got our toothbrushes, deodorant, all our clothes, that sort of stuff, because it's going to last in line. You don't need that till bedtime or maybe even the morning, depending on how your day goes. Got a whole bunch of water. Never have too much water. That's for everything: drinking, eating, cooking, dousing the fire pit at the end of the night. This is pretty cool. This thing, who even makes this? Aquabot. You pump it up, and the nozzle, you can do a real fine mist, or open it up and you got jet stream out of that thing. This works fantastic for, man, everything from cleaning hands, cleaning dishes, all that sort of stuff. This thing is great. These totes, this one is labeled toys. He gets 1 crate full of toys: soccer ball, books, a couple transformers, a frisbee, some stuffed animals. He likes to play Uno, so he brought Uno. Little explorer kit. There's stuff for catching bugs and binoculars and magnifying glass. Just things to explore. We bring stuff like this, tracks, scat, and signs, how to recognize animal prints and their poop and who made what and things like that. So yeah, he gets 1 box of personal items minus, you know, his favorites that he keeps with him all the time. And then the other box is basically just emergency supplies. So, an adventure meal, we got a jet boil to be able to cook it. There's fire starters, tapes, you know, an emergency whistle, storm whistle, supposed to be the loudest whistle ever. We got first aid gear. We have a space heater with a extension cord. That's worst case scenario. If it is really, really cold, something happens, we have an outlet here. We can start the truck up and hook up the space heater, just run it up there, let the space heater kind of take the chill off a little bit, just put a little bit of temperature into the tent. You'd never want to let that thing run overnight or anything like that. That's super dangerous. But 5-10 minutes to just get the chill out of there, and then body heat will maintain until morning. You'll be all right. But so that's things we hope to never use. We just leave all this in there, but you know, it's important to have. On that note, we tend to just put all the bags that we take off of stuff right here on the floor. More bags, sleeping bags. We keep, this is the bag for electrical stuff. We have the GoPro we normally keep in there. We have a portable battery bank, just a little one for charging up electronics, that sort of thing. But in here, there's always a medical kit. There's always another Adventure Tool Company bag, but first aid stuff, tape stuff, that sort of thing. You know, fire starter, there's a life straw that's crammed down in the bottom of there. But that stuff we never take out. Sure, it takes up some room, but you know, if you need it, you need it. So that makes sense to keep there permanently. That's kind of our little camp setup that we got going. I'll go over lights and electrical here in a few minutes. Let me get that set up, and then we'll come back and revisit that. So for electrical, I made a video on this last year when I was first building it, so I'm not going to get real in depth with that, but basically starter battery, from starter battery into a breaker goes up here to a red arc DC charger, the red arc through a breaker into a secondary battery power through a breaker into a low voltage disconnect, out the low voltage disconnect, that comes back over to this guy, and then a bunch of plug and play circuits for different things. Before I leave, just shore power, hook up right there, make sure both batteries are topped off prior to leaving, going on a trip. But with the dual battery setup, everything not factory is on the battery. Everything original is still off the normal battery. So I made this switch panel in here, and that's fog lights, ditch lights, the light bar in the grill, left side camp lights, right side camp lights. So turn all those off. The right side lights stay on. And the way I wired it, the wiring comes behind this cover, and this you can actually see is heat shrink that contains the wires. That runs up, tucks up back behind here, And then there's a connector that I put right here for these lights. Hey, chill, please. We got a singer. So I can unplug this right here, plug this harness in line, and so that'll just kind of run up under here, pokes right up inside the tent in that corner. And then from the inside, this is the electrical. We got a power outlet that's always hot. You can charge whatever you want. This one is nothing yet. My original plan was that was going to control lights on the driver's side, but it's a hard shell. Why do I need lights over there? Didn't really think that part through, but these ones, red interior light. If you didn't know, red doesn't mess with your night vision and it doesn't attract bugs. White interior light. And then this one will turn the, if you can see that or not. Oh, sorry, wrong one. This is the one that doesn't do anything yet. This is the one that will run these lights over here. So that kicks these on. It's nice to be able to control that from inside. Middle of the night, you got to get up, go to the bathroom, or I don't know, you hear crazy noises, whatever, flip the lights on, you can see.
Never hear noises.
You what?
Never hear weird noises.
We never hear weird noises?
Yeah. Never, ever.
Well, you just sleep right through the weird noises sometimes, but that's okay. It's never anything major. It's just good to be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah. But I gotta go pick up some fish for our babies. Okay. See you later.
Okay. So the last item, it's setting up camp, Garmin InReach. I don't know how well you can see that. I'm gonna block the actual coordinates. You know, everybody talks about don't geotag, save nature, find your own stuff. Anyways, so let me back up one from that. So let's see where we can get a decent view of the screen. Okay, we are gonna go down to messages. We're gonna do send preset message. These are the presets that we have in here. With the basic subscription, you get to send unlimited preset messages. If you want to send an actual text message that you type, or if somebody responds, you get charged. Well, you get a couple a month, but whatever. So this is the one we're gonna send. We'll do view details. That's the people it's gonna go to. This says everything is okay. I've either just arrived at camp or I'm about to leave camp. Do not respond unless it's an emergency. So if I send that, my wife, my mother-in-law, for this trip, my best friend, because he wants to kind of see how this works, see the info that it sends. So I'll send that message out. Send. Done. And so you'll see this little arrow right there means it's going to send a message. So this works off the Iridium satellite network. So anywhere on the planet, you can get a message out. Worst case scenario, there is also an SOS that will go to emergency services, search and rescue, whatever.
Go, go, go.
But that's nice to be able to let my wife know, you know, along once we leave cell phone reception, oh, that beep means the message just went out. So all of them should have just gotten a message. And that link will show you a map, and it'll give your location so people know where you're at. But that's nice to be able to let the outside world know we got to where we're going. This is where we're going to be staying. So my presets are basically status update, everything's good, this is where we're at. And then one that says I'm either coming or arriving at camp or leaving camp. If it's first thing in the morning, middle of the morning, it's probably leaving camp. If it's in the afternoon, evening, that's probably an arrival at camp. And then the third one, the third one is just that we're heading home and everything's good. If anything wasn't good, we would just send a custom text message. You get 10 a month, and then you get charged after that. So yeah, use the presets until you need something more specific. But this is our first time setting up with this awning. Just got this thing. Technically used, but new in the box. Or new in the bag. What was that? Just got dumped out. Looks like we might get some rain coming. Who knows? Maybe we'll have to see. The Garmin, you can use one of your 10 text messages a month to receive a weather update. You can get just a basic weather forecast or one that's more in depth. They charge you $1 every time you want it, and it's day by day. So that's pretty much our camp setup. That's how we go out, and works really well for us. We have fun with it. He has fun with it. That's the important thing. Get out and explore with the little dude. You want to say adios?